Russian-installed authorities in occupied parts of Ukraine have been holding so-called referendums on joining Russia. Polling has begun despite worldwide condemnation and a warning from the UN chief that the results will not be recognized. Ballots are being collected in the regions of Kherson, Zaporizhzhia, Luhansk and Donetsk, an area making up about 15% of Ukrainian territory. As voting continues, Kyiv says it has recaptured more ground in its continuing counteroffensive. Now, the voting is expected to last several days and results in the region's annexation by Moscow. Ukraine and Western governments say they will not recognize the outcome.
Vote organizers in Donetsk making house calls, bringing the ballot boxes straight to the people. Amid the backdrop of war, residents are being asked to vote on joining the Russian Federation.
Of course it's important. We were wondering when we would join Russia. Life will be calmer.
The so-called referendums are being held over 5 days. Russian news outlets say most of the voting will take place door to door. Kremlin-installed leaders in the regions have been preparing for months, signing up residents as Russian citizens. In Luhansk, some see the vote as a way out of war and deprivation.
I think the referendum will be for the best. Yes, that there will be water and electricity, and people will feel like they are on their native land.
But for those who fled to Ukrainian-held parts of Zaporizhzhia, the votes are a sham.
It's a violation of international law. It's a fake task to show that occupied territories want to join the Russian Federation, which is a total lie.
Once the so-called referendums are completed, Moscow could then claim that its own territory is under attack with weapons provided by the West.
Now let's cross to Kyiv, where I'm now joined by Petro Poroshenko. He was president of Ukraine from 2014 to 2019. Welcome to DW. Mr. Poroshenko, we know you don't accept these so-called referendums in Ukraine's east, but what do you say to those people in Donetsk and Luhansk who see this vote as a way out of the war, who just want their normal lives back?
First of all, this is definitely not a referendum. There is no one single vote of any people, because it's impossible to organize a referendum like that within 48 hours. The referendum, normal referendum, please see the experience of the Switzerland. It's preparing for several months or years. Second, I'm absolutely confident that the Constitutional Court of Ukraine, exactly the same like we do under my presidency in year 2014 about the Crimea, this is definitely unconstitutional. And point number three, this is the Russian trick, how to legitimize their presence of their troops, and even more, to have an attack, including the possible nuclear weapons attack, from the territory which was grabbed by Putin on this fake referendum.
Are you worried about a nuclear attack? How likely do you think it is?
Look, Putin is a crazy maniac. He is absolutely inadequate. And he thinks that he has only one instrument how to settle this situation is a blackmail. He using the security blackmail when he attacked Ukraine. He using the energy blackmail, and everybody in Germany and in the world know what does it mean. He using the coal blackmail, hunger blackmail by blocking Ukrainian port, and now he using the nuclear contamination blackmail with the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, and he using the nuclear attack blackmail. And with this situation, I just want to remind you that this is blackmail was the situation when Ukraine voluntarily gave up the third biggest nuclear arsenal in the world. And how we can react? Only one possible thing. Putin do not use the nuclear weapons if the West definitely confirm that that would be severe answer on the attack directly to Putin. That would be act of the suicide of Putin, and because Putin afraid this scenario, this is the only way how we can stop it. We should have joint declaration of the nuclear power in the world, that would be quick and decisive reaction on the attack. We in Ukraine don't afraid the nuclear attack, despite of the fact that if Putin used the nuclear weapons attack, the first point would be Kyiv, exactly when I'm staying here. 7 months ago, I am staying here when Russian tanks was 5 kilometers from this place, and the soldiers of my battalion were on the front line in Irpin. Today, we are not afraid of them, and this is not safe. Putin as.
So you have met Vladimir Putin while you were president. In how far do you think he has changed?
I have several recommendations based on my experience for negotiation with Putin. First, please don't be afraid of Putin. If you are weak, Putin go as far as we together allow him to go. Second, don't trust Putin. Putin, with this negotiation, never keep his word. And third, Putin understand only the fourth. That's our strength. And that's why the strength of Ukrainian army, the unity of Ukrainian society and people, and the strong coalition in the world supporting Ukraine and unity definitely stop Putin where he is. And that's why he used now the mechanism of the conscription drive, the mechanism of the nuclear blackmail. This is not safe, neither him nor his son.
Now, the Ukrainian government has asked Germany, for example, repeatedly to send more modern battle tanks. But Chancellor Olaf Scholz insists that such steps must be agreed among allies and that no other country was sending Western battle tanks to Ukraine. Do you understand that position?
First of all, I want to thank the NATO and NATO member states for the decisive role you play supporting Ukrainian armed forces, Ukrainian state to stop Putin. Without that, that would be almost impossible. Point number two, that this is the initiative of our sister party, the CDU, and I'm a little bit disappointed that today the German Parliament, Bundestag, do not support this initiative. I really count on that. Point number three, you should understand that the more weapons, the more ammunition you supply, the shorter would be the way to the peace. It not exist in any other way. Putin do not understand the way of compromise. So the time of diplomat is finishing, and now the best diplomat is Ukrainian armed forces supported by the alliance. And with that situation, definitely, we need German tanks. In that situation, we need German ammunition. We very much thanks for the German artillery, and we do not need, by the way, German soldiers. Please help us to save you. Help us to save Europe. Help us to do our common job. That definitely, that would be our job in responsibility. And giving tank to Ukraine, giving supporting the Ukrainian armed forces, you are not helping Ukraine. You investing in your own security.
The former Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko there. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Now let's go straight to our Russia analyst Konstantin Eggert, who joins us from the Lithuanian capital Vilnius. Now, Konstantin, what is Russia's aim with these so-called referendums?
Well, I'd agree, Gert, with President Poroshenko. It is to legitimize Russian presence on these territories and very probably annex them, and observers say that very possibly the annexation date, because no one doubts about the so-called result of the so-called referendums, which are not referenda at all, to basically annex these territories by the 7th of October, which is Putin's birthday, and which is Putin's 70th birthday. So in the Soviet tradition, it's very important to do something for such an important date. And I suppose we're looking towards full-scale annexation.
Konstantin Egert, our Russia analyst, thank you.